What's up, everybody? This is Greg with Advantage One Brokers, and this is the ADV One podcast. This is where we talk about topics and training that is just for you. We come each and every weekday. And today, I've got the boys together. We got the panel together again. Let me go ahead and introduce. First, we got David Doring. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Next, we got Jeffy Grub.
Grub here. Great day.
And we got Kevin Vega. Kevin, how you doing?
Fantastic, man. Glad to be here.
So today what we're going to do is, well, first off, hey guys, we're just start off chatting a little bit, talk about life, everything. And then we got a topic that we're going to go over. Jeff, you just came back from Vegas, man. How was it?
Great, man. Lost tons of money. No, I'm just kidding. No, we had a good time, man. It was awesome. Ready to get to work now, write some business. No,
yeah.
It was a good time. It was good. Took 4 days with the old man and hung out with my dad. And
wasn't it your dad's birthday?
No, it wasn't his birthday.
Oh,
he has a trip. He goes, he has a trip every year. Goes with his buddy, and so he drove me along this time. We just hung out and had some fun. It was actually really cool.
Yeah. Where'd you stay at?
Yeah. We stayed at the Wyndham, the resort down there. We had a timeshare down there.
Wyndham.
So we
I think I've been there. Why does that sound really familiar?
It's pretty cool, man.
I think I've been there.
It's not far. We had a good time. Yeah, we did that. Had some. Just hung out at all the fancy places, like all the cool resorts or the casinos, and did the whole tour of it. It was kind of fun. It was good fun. Got some work done too.
I can't remember. I think I stayed at the Wyndham the last time I was there. I can't remember.
Dude, it's actually pretty nice, man. Like
does it have a tower?
No, this one we stayed. There's 3 down there. The one we stayed at was a little bit off the strip. It's off Las Vegas Boulevard. It's actually more like the oriented one. They have like the condos and stuff. You're probably thinking about the one that's like on the strip.
Yeah.
Wyndham Blue.
Okay.
That one's super nice. Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah. I say one that has like a tower. And like if you stay in the tower, you get access to a private pool. It's just like the tower pool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, dude, it was legit.
It's gotta be cooking out there, huh, Jeff?
Dude, it was like 106 degrees. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys have been to Top Golf before, but the Top Golf in Vegas is insane. They have a pool. They have a pool in it. There's 2 pools. Like you have a pool party in the day and then go play golf right afterwards.
Yeah, that's where they have the annual freaking the annual tournaments there at Vegas. So.
Gosh,
did you
blew my mind?
Did you say tournaments?
Annual.
So speaking of that, what's the deal, Greg? Greg and Kevin, what's the deal with this little freaking Ninja Turtle, the little shivery guy?
So
let's hear the backstory.
What is it, Raphael? Was it Raphael?
It's Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. There's this meme. There's this meme where it's basically like prepare your ass, and he's like this, and he's like grinning real weird, and it's like shaking just it's like this gif, and it's just a really funny gif. You can use it. I mean, it's applicable at all times, and so we like to throw it in the chat every once in a while, and
it's Michelangelo is popped his head in the chat a few times now.
I put it a few times. Yeah, so that was basically that was the premise behind that. So he's doing the raw GIF without any of the text on it. There's an original one that him and I used to use back and forth. So it was good times. So
the raw IMO.
Yeah, man. I went to Wyndham. That's awesome, actually. Now that you're talking about Top Golf, I didn't know they had a pool there. That makes the Top Golf here in Dallas suck.
Dude, I've been to a couple of Top Golf. I'm a golf fan. I've been to a couple of them, and when I saw that, I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, third floor pool parties during the day." What? It's nuts, dude. It's cool.
That was good.
They make it fun. They make it fun for everybody. The top 2 floors are 21 and up, so you don't have to get bothered by kids or anything. It's kind of cool.
How is mask mandates?
Dude, they're masked up. They're masked up. That's why when I got home from Indiana, I had some PTSD. When you always forget your mask in the car and you like freak out. You like walk up to a store. Dude, I have a really funny story. I'll tell you guys off air after this. But I'll have to wait on this one. But no, you have to have a mask everywhere. And I can't wait to tell you guys what. We'll say it. Okay, but it was pretty funny. But no, the mask. It's weird. They have the mask mandate on. I get it. I get it. But I think I don't know if they went back or what. But they're pretty strict on the mask. Yeah. Here in Indiana, man, no one really cares. I mean, they don't have mask mandates yet. Again, but,
yeah. Here in Texas, they don't care either.
Yeah,
there's a handful of stores that you'll find where people will be wearing them, but they don't care if you don't wear them.
Right.
So
right. That's here. It's I haven't worn a mask in a while. So come back to Indiana, I was kind of like had that tick in my head, like I forgot my mask. I got my mask. I'm excited to not. Hopefully someday this will be all over with that because, dude, I feel like we went to Vegas. There's masks everywhere. You know, like the old school ways in New York City where the newspapers just all over the street. That's how masks were. They're flooded everywhere, littered everywhere. It's almost like it's crazy. So they gotta fix those things.
Sounds like rats in the sewer, huh?
Like that. Masks in the sewer, rats in the sewer.
Just rat traps.
Rat traps everywhere.
Just the streets are full of cheese.
Stinky cheese.
That's hey man, that's just like when we're riding the when we're in California, we're riding through the alleyways,
the back alleys, yeah. just complete garbage.
I'm pretty sure I saw a few rats going through that street. So today's topic of the show, we're going to go ahead and talk about profitability, and this was a conversation that before we started the show, Jeff, you were kind of going over some of your experiences. I had some experiences with it. I'm sure David does too. And there's a difference between, your issue pay numbers and what you're depositing and everything, and then what's your profitability? How much did you have to spend to make that? Because if you're, hey, I've got, $10,000 issue paid in a week, but if you have to spend $2,000 in leads and then $1,500 in staff members, and then whatever your rent is, by week, and then chargebacks and everything, and then you can only show then you also have to live and eat and gas and everything else. And when you look at your bank account, there's nothing there. It's it's all taken. What's the point? So profitability is the difference between what you're making and then also what you have to spend to make that money. And I can tell you from my experience is my first big year in the business, which was my second year in insurance. I issue paid for over 400,000 and I deposited over 300,000. But at the end of the year, all I had to show for it was about 5,000 in my bank account. So, and having now, I also, I lived okay, but I didn't live extravagantly. It wasn't like I don't have a nice car. I still don't. I got a Ford Expedition, I've had that since for a few years now. I didn't go out and buy a new house or anything like that. I pretty much spent a lot on the business, but I spent a lot of it on leads. I spent a lot of it on leads, not only leads for me, but also leads for agents. And then they didn't do very well because, let's be real, the leads sucked. And, I was pumping so much money because it was well, if I have X amount of leads, I don't want to have a lead problem. I want to be able to just have as many people to talk to. So I'll find that person that I'll be able to have a sale with, but that's not very profitable, Mm-hmm. So, Jeff, talk a little bit. You mentioned your first when you were 24, kind of your first big year.
Yeah, the cool about insurance is it's a super sick industry because you can make a whole bunch of money so fast, but it can go as fast as it comes in. So, yeah, my first year I made a bunch of money. I think my first year in my old company, I was at 197,000 what I made on my 1099. And I didn't have very many expenses. This is all my fault, by the way, because my business expenses were 25 grand. So you're thinking man, you did pretty good. Living expenses, things like that. At the end of the day, I spent so much money and just blew it on stuff that after the first week of January, I had $4 grand in my bank account after making $197,000, which was just dumb. I made partly dumb decisions on my end. The business expenses weren't even super high. It was just kind of like a big aha moment. Like if you are going to be in commission sales ever, you got to treat your life like a business, and you got to be super profitable, meaning like paying yourself first and really looking at what you're doing, because that was a big change. That was like a big kind of moment for myself when I didn't have anything really to show for it. I like a cool car or whatever, but that was about it. Mm-hmm. That's something where I think people really need to like resonate. Like not only if you're in a business where you got to spend money to make money, like the business we're in, but then at the end of the day, when you make a bunch of money, like how to properly manage that, because being profitable at the end of the day is the most important thing. Like if you go make 30, 40 grand a month, you go on vacation for a week and you come back and you're broke, that's kind of a problem. Or like you come back and you got to drop 5 grand on leads again to get yourself going back to where you were. It's also a problem, because you get to a point where, you know, I was listening to this, and I'll finish up this part, but I was listening to somebody, this was a kind of scary part for me, because some guy was sharing his experience at our practice company, and he said like, yeah, I made, you know, like 25 grand deposits, and then I do what a lot of people do. I took off like 3 weeks and I spent money and no money was coming in. And then he had chargebacks building up. And then he got to a point where he's like, I can't even afford to buy leads to get myself going again. That's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah.
Now with the management brokers, it's really exciting, because I mean, you spend $500, you have enough money to get yourself back to where you were, or then some. So I think profitability is a really important thing for, if you're an insurance agent in general, commission sales, or if you're looking to maybe think like, is there something better for a better MO to be a part of or company to be a part of? Yeah, definitely. You gotta profit it first before you be profitable. You gotta make it, and then you gotta keep it. So that's a conversation we can talk about today for sure.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with what you're saying, Jet. I know I was telling you guys, you know, I recently brought on 2 individuals that were both quote unquote ish.
Man, David, you got to get your shit together, bro.
Best freeze frame ever.
We need that meme. We need that Ninja Turtle meme.
Yeah.
I think I just froze for a second.
You did. The best freeze frame ever.
Oh, perfect.
It's gonna break the internet.
That's exactly why I froze. No, but I was saying, so these two individuals, they both, you know, paid $300,000 last year out of their own.
No way.
Man, come on, David.
Being profitable, man. Don't skimp by. Get the good internet.
Yeah, he definitely does not have good internet.
You have to include in the recording these freeze frames.
What's funny is that I have it. The recording is where it shows all of us, so it's going to show him frozen and then us all laughing at it. That's what's going to be the actual thumbnail. It's going to be one of his frozen one with all of us laughing.
That'll be the best.
With him like. I think he's gone for a while.
It's all right. We'll talk about it.
He's probably fixing his internet right now.
Probably.
So Kevin, you haven't been in the industry very long. But you can speak to this just in the short time that you were in, you know, the amount of money you had to spend, you know, I mean, it's not that you didn't make money, but man, you did a whole travel trip. What did you have to show for it?
Fucking travel trip, over 300 leads, premier quote unquote leads from the practice company. So you figure, yeah, if you're gonna, you know, put numbers in your favor, you know, the more leads, the better. Shit, dude, I spent fucking like $2,500 on leads, plus the plane ticket, hotel. I was like almost $4 grand deep. Nothing that weekend. Absolutely nothing. Same fucking experience that everybody else has been telling me and the rest of us during the transition. Yeah, I was walking all over other agents. Fucking, they didn't fill this out, you know? And how, as an agent, can you have confidence in your lead generation system if you have no idea how it's fucking generated? Hey, I bought a lead. All right, how did you guys get it? Can anybody answer that? Fuck no.
Yeah.
That's a gut puncher.
He did. He was excited too. I remember he was like, bro, I'm going on this travel trip, and he was like, I'm doing it. And he was like, dude, I see 300 leads in the CRM in that area right now. I was like, well, you probably only want to get 100 of them. And by the time I said text that, he was like, got them all, bro. Got them all.
I just came off a good week. You know, I wrote 13K that first week out in the field, and I was like, oh man, it was off of the same leads too.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, okay, you're bold, son. All right, man, you're gonna have a good weekend. He did not have a good weekend.
No, and that was in another state too, right? And I was like, okay, maybe it's a fluke. Okay, I'll take that $4,000 in the fucking chin. Let me go to the East Coast and try these out. Same fucking thing. I had to go to a third-party vendor for those Facebook leads, and it was the same fucking thing. Like everything except generating your own leads in a Facebook funnel and doing direct mail and having to wait the fucking 6 weeks for it to start kicking in was the only way. Like I don't understand why this shit is so hard. And then when we actually listened to Chris Curry and Spencer Long, and they're like, well, their whole business model is to sell you a lead. They don't give a shit how intentional it is, right? Yeah. And I was like, mind blown. Yeah. That's why I was all about it when this opportunity came, because not only do they not recoup and break even for the money, they lose money. They have to make sure that their leads are intentional so that you can close a deal. Where else are you going to find another IMO like that?
What I've been telling people, and I mean, this is how it makes sense in my mind, but it makes a very it's a relationship between the IMO and the agent. So they both have to succeed, or in order for them to succeed, the agent has to succeed for the IMO to succeed. So it's like it's symbiotic in nature. So if the agent fails, then the IMO fails too, because they're losing money with the leads. So Advantage One brokers will fail if their leads suck, which they don't.
Perfect. It works out well.
Yeah, it's very symbiotic. So like, and we're already starting to see the fruits of that, in the Slack chat of people being like, man, I got 4 telemarketing leads in. I called all 4. I set 4 appointments. Like it took me 30 minutes on the phone. This is nuts.
I'm jumping right on that shit, dude.
These people that what made me excited, man, it was like, Maria, right? Was it Maria who sold a policy out of Hawaii?
Yeah, Miss Maria did a policy.
She's on vacation.
She got a Hawaii lead, and she was on vacation.
But what about that chick that got a 20-minute crash course and sold freaking 3 policies in the span of an hour?
Yeah, was that? Was it?
That was Zach. That was the one that gave her the.
No, you're thinking that was. I think that was Jessica that did the 4 policies an hour. She did, but the one Zach helped Cassie, and she sold 2 policies in one home. She did. So what Zach did was, which is awesome. I do want to highlight this, but Zach has a bunch of mortgage marriages that he's purchasing, and he had an agent come on, and then she didn't have any money for leads. So he's like, hey, I'm going to give you 10 mortgage leads. Here you go. And he taught her this groundbreaking technology on how to do Zoom mortgage protection. It's groundbreaking. And he 20 minutes taught her how to do it. She went out, she sold, and she got almost 2,000 on her first appointment. She was like, oh my God, is that easy? It's like, yeah, it's really not that deep. It's not that deep,
When you have a high quality lead, it's not that hard.
No, it's not.
It is not that hard.
So,
I want to highlight that, just what you said, because I talked to a lot of people, and some people overcomplicate the process. And I know a lot of us came from different companies, and which you guys came from. My experience, my first 4.5 years at a captive company. And our appointments, we had to put on a legit show. Like I was in a home for an hour and a half, putting on a show to get them to say yes to a $50 a month policy.
Yeah.
Where like here you walk in the door and they're like, we know what we want. We just need to know what the prices are going to be. Mm-hmm. And they just want to know they get the best policy, which is very simple.
Also, if you, to piggyback off what you're saying, if you, and this is way off the topic of profitability, I know, but
yeah, it is. I know.
But if you have the right structure in the home, like you can really get right to the heart of the matter, and you can structure your appointments. Like I did a podcast with Sam Chan yesterday, where he talks about his final expense. He's like a final expense guru. He does fantastic, and he helps everyone in Advantage One brokers with final expense. And so he talks about how he structures his appointments and he knows like, hey, the likeliness of these people at this age, the biggest pushback he would get was like, all right, I already got some insurance in place. So he had structured his appointment to where they just get their policy without him even asking. Like by like insinuating that he needs it to basically help them to save money, they would just be like, oh, well, let me go get my policy. And they would just like get up and go get it. And he was like, and then once I have it, because you have to see the policy in order to make any difference. But it was a really like ingenious way to set up and structure his appointment. So like, if you have a great way with a good lead system and a good way to structure your appointments, man, you can just kill it, and be very profitable. And it comes full circle.
I think people don't realize like how different that is. If you can spend $50 on one high quality lead versus spending, like, put it this way, you can get 10 high quality leads that are $50 each for $500. You could sell 7 or 8 of them. Okay. So you're spending $500.
Yeah.
Or you have to go out and purchase 100 $11 leads to the same thing. Okay. You're more profitable buying less leads that are better high quality leads than buying a ton of leads to give yourself more shots to get home. Like, that's the 101 basic probability. It's like you spend less money, but like at the end of the day, your time matters too.
Yes.
So being profitable on time, I'd rather spend an hour and a half on the phone booking 8 leads than spending 9 hours on the phone booking 16 appointments to maybe sit with half, to maybe sell half of those, where you can spend an hour and a half booking 10 leads, sit with 8, sell 6 or 7. Like that's like the difference of like profitability, not just on money, but on time. I mean, if you really want to get, for better lack of terms, into profitability, like if I'm spending 8 hours at work, making the same amount of money as you spending 40 hours at work, like my time is paid way higher on a per hour basis. I can use that time to do more valuable things. So my other several hours I have in the day, I can invest in my family. I can invest in my health. Like, profitability isn't about money. It's about like being a high profitable individual in general. And it's all about how you use that tool. So
yeah.
Bring it full circle for you, Craig.
I love it. I love going full circle. David, do you think do you think that your hashtag Pokemon? Do you think that your internet can sustain finishing a statement?
Apologize, guys. Yeah, I don't know. My internet's been a little bit wonky, but so yeah. As far as full circle, I love that full kimono transparency. No, I think it is exactly what Jeff just said. Like, it's very important for it's not just about the money. There's other aspects of like, I think the last year and a half has really showed us that with COVID and everything, that people are thinking more about their health and their wealth, not just about money, but about taking care of themselves and their family and preparing for those kind of unexpected things. So yeah, if you are having more time to, put towards those other things than just, I got to run in the field all day long, or I got to make, 500 dials just to book a few appointments. Again, that's not very efficient. So as we always say, work smarter, not necessarily just harder. It's the answer doesn't have to be just, make more calls or buy more leads. It's like, let's be smarter, a little bit more efficient, and, still get to where we want to go.
Oh, absolutely.
To test that, what Dave was saying earlier too, he talked about, I'm sorry, just real quick, I want David to hit on this. You talk about having less time in the field, more time with your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can be somebody who's spending less time having to be on phones and in the field and more time supporting your team, that's maximum profitability.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Because so what happens is that, in the practice company, is that you have all these managers that they have to grind in the field for so long, and it takes so many phone calls, and they have to do so much because they're not really making any money, not really profitable. After they're spending everything, for the team, their staff, their leads, everything, leads for a team, and they can't actually spend time with their team, and actually be a leader or mentor or trainer and show some love, to the team. And then what you find is that there's a lot of people that slip through the cracks. A lot of people that, like, if they were to get the right hand holding, right mentorship, they would have been able to be way more successful with the right system, the right tools, and the right leadership. And so when I was to bring it back, I was in the military. I was a huge believer, and I still am, a huge believer of anybody that went in the military. Anybody could have, even the worst soldier could have become the best soldier, with the right leadership, the right guidance, the right training. And the problem when it comes to leadership is that most people, as they learn one way to lead, and they do that one way really well. Okay, or lead, manage, do whatever, however you want to put it. But leadership is like having a toolbox. And when I was a very, very, very young cadet about to become an officer, I was in this training exercise in Fort Lewis, McChord, up in Washington State, and I did this joint exercise where I was the platoon leader of a bunch of we're all cadets. We're all this idiots, just waiting to get our college degree and go commission and go off to war. So all these cadets were all competing and trying to vie for who's going to be in charge and like showing who knows the best, all that crap. So I got put in charge of a platoon, and I had 3 squads. And so I had to go do this movement to contact. And basically we got a mission. I had to lead this mission brief. We go out on a mission, and I'm controlling 3 separate entities while maintaining and there's all that goes into it. It's not just like just leading them to telling what I want to do, but it's also controlling the movement. How are we going to move as one? If something happens, what are we going to do? Okay. And relying back on field manuals or FM. We did FM 7-8, which is the infantry manual for basic infantry movement skills and basic infantry combat. So like it has all these different book called battle drills. You do battle drills over and over again. So like a battle drill, like react to contact would be like, if an enemy starts to fire on you, what do you do? Okay. And so and it depends. And there's literally like, hey, if an enemy fires on you and it's just on one side, say you're on a road and it's on one side, everyone drops, you determine which side it is, and you literally call it out, turn fire, and then you split your team in half. One team fires while the other flanks. Boom, done, dead. And so we would sit there and we would practice these over and over and over again. So now I'm in charge. I'm actually like, I'm the captain now, and and I'm leading them through, and we get ambushed, and there's a react to ambush. And so typically with an ambush, you want to actually go through it, because if you sit there, you're going to get what happens usually with the ambush is that or like an L-shaped ambush is that you're in a kill zone. So you have to push through the kill zone. If you stay there, you and your people are going to die. So we ended up getting into an L-shaped ambush. I pushed through it, and my lanky ass, and I was scrawny, by the way. I was scrawny as hell. I was like a baby giraffe, there's pictures of me, but I'm sitting there in my MBDUs, by the way. This is before ACUs were out. Well, ACUs were out, but as cadets, we weren't allowed to wear them because they weren't like really out yet. So I had these old BDUs from like Vietnam era, and you see me like Forrest Gump, and I got a ruck on my back and like my helmet on, and it's bobbling around. And I'm like, we start getting a kind of contact, and I'm like, run. I'm sitting there like running like Forrest, get through this objective. I get through, we flank from the backside, we fuck them up, done. All right. So at the end, we do an evaluation. Okay. So for that entire time, I was being watched, and I was being, to make sure to see if I had what it took to be an officer, if I had what it took to lead soldiers in combat. And so the guy that was evaluating me was a major. He was active duty major, and he was an armor officer. And he pulls me aside, and he was like, damn, cadet. He's like, you know what? He's like, you're a leader, man. Like, you know what to do. You're hard charging. You took the team, and you did what had to be done. You led from the front. But then he told me, he was like, you can't, because I was very rough around the edges. Like, I'd just be like, I was 5-finger pointing people, like, you do this, you do this, you do this. Hey, let's go, people, let's go. And he was like, if you always lead people like a hammer, then everything's going to look like a nail. And leadership's like a tool bag. And you can't, you have to start to read people, and you have to understand there's some people that you're going to have to pull out some needle nose pliers. Some people you get to pull out a screwdriver. Some people you're going to have to just the smallest tiny little tweaks, or just like measurements Some people you're going to have to hammer, and they need that. And that's the best leadership for them. But you have to know based on the situation, and the more people you interact with, you'll start to learn which tool is going to be used for them. And you'll reach back into your tool bag and you'll use it. And if it works, you'll keep it and you'll remember that. But it's like a tool bag that you are just constantly building tools that you keep in there for a long time. And so
I like that.
That's
great.
It's kept with me ever since. And so I when I was a captain, when I was a commander, I had a soldier, and his NCOs all swore he was the worst soldier ever because he showed up late. He was always disrespecting and bad mouthing the NCOs. Would never, like, you tell he like wasn't really trying to PT. Every single time he did his height and weight, he was slightly off in his weight. And then when there's regulations and things that have to happen when somebody fails weight. They got to get retaped, or they got to get their body fat percentage taken. And then, like, if that's bad, like, there's all these little steps to take to help soldiers to get back in line. But if they don't, if they keep missing the standard, then eventually it's just like they can do paperwork to put them out. So typically NCOs, if they have a soldier that's troubled, they'll just be like, man, just get this piece of shit out of here. Like, they're like, sir, just give him an Article 15 and get him out here. Like we don't need him. So I was like, let me see this counseling packet. I get his counseling packet and I read through it. And so I pulled him in and I was just like, hey man, here's what I see. I see a kid that just doesn't know what the hell's going on. Like, I think that there's a miscommunication between the NCOs and you. So let's sit down and try to get back to square one. Let's fix this. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, from now on, we're going to start baby steps. No more showing up late. That's simple, right? Can you do that? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, if you show up late one more time, then I'm throwing the book at you. All right. But if you don't, if for the next 6 months, if you don't show up late, if you show up early or on time every single day, bro, I'm going to take this counseling pack. I'm going to rip it up like it didn't happen. And he was like, all right. So I was like, can I get your word that you're going to do this? And he was like, yeah. What do you think he did?
Fucking showed up late.
He fucking showed up late.
Oh,
like 2 days later.
One of those happy stories.
Like 2 days later. And you know what I did? I kept my word and I threw the book at him. Now, I gave him a company grade Article 15. He was a specialist. I knocked him down to a PFC. Or PV2, actually. I knocked him down 2 ranks. Knocked him down to a PV2. I took his money. I put him on extra duty. So he had extra duty for like 4 weeks or some shit, where he had to come in after hours and just work. It's like clean latrines or whatever we wanted him to do. Go like pick up grass. It's like, hey, go pick up those rocks over there and put them over there. And the next day it's like, hey, put them over there, put them over there. Like just messing with them. Let's like making him do this like laborious work, But when I gave him the Article 15, I told him, I was like, here's the deal. I gave you an option and you failed. And that's fine. But I told you what was going to happen, and this is what happened. So now you gotta be a man, you gotta take the punishment. So but how you react from here is 1000% up to you. You can either you can look yourself in the mirror and say, man, whose responsibility is this? It's mine. You can take that responsibility and you can drive forward and you can fix yourself. And you can realize that, hey, every single sergeant major in the Army, guess what? All of them have a company grade Article 15 from when they were private. All of them do. Okay. So it's not the end of this. This is not the end of your career. Okay. You can still go and become a fantastic NCO and a fantastic leader. Or you can be like, I hate these people. My company commander sucks. My NCOs suck. And you can blame everybody but yourself, and you'll never fix yourself. It's completely up to you. I hope that you do the aforementioned, And I started spending time with him, and his whole demeanor changed after that. And he literally went from being like the worst soldier that the NCOs hated to the best soldier that they all loved. He got his rank back. He ended up getting promoted to sergeant. When he left the installation, when he PCS, he actually got an award from the garrison commander. And he called me up. He's like, hey, sir, I want you to come put my award on me and like give my award to me. And he like contributed his transformation to like that conversation that we had. He was like, that was pivotal. And I think that specific story always stuck with me. And here's why, is because there's a lot of people that are in the 80%. Okay. There's a top 10% that no matter what, they're going to be successful. And then there's bottom 10% that no matter what, like they're not going to do whatever, they're going to do whatever the hell they want to do. And like, they're not going to listen to anybody about anything. But there's that 80% that with the right leadership, the right mentorship, they can literally jump to that 10% mark. They can come up to the top. But it takes for somebody to see it and say, you know what, I see the potential within you. Let me help you. And when you're spending all of your time doing 24 to 25 hours of dials a fucking week, and you don't have the ability, and you're spending all your money, and you have to go on all these appointments, and you can't spend time with your team, how are you going to be able to pull that potential out of people that need it? So what happens to your team is these people drop off because they're not getting the attention or the time that they deserve in order for them to succeed.
Yep. And guess
That's
what?
like
Then you're self-employed again. You're forced to keep doing that.
Yeah.
You have no way out.
That is like the difference between like somebody having a $50,000 a month team and a $500,000 a month team is like right there. That is so freaking crucial, man. What you just said, like people don't realize that I've had a lot of good leadership in my life and a lot of people that helped me along the way. And there's like some people that really stood out to me that like made a big difference. Like you did that one with that one guy, the soldier. And I mean, you could be someone who's been like trying to grow a team at a previous company and it's just not working and you're wondering why. Dude, if you're a good leader and you know you're a good leader and you're the kind of guy who takes the ownership and you know, like, hey, I know I'm a good leader. I know when I fail, I know when I suck. For some reason, I just can't figure out how to take my team to the next level. It's probably because of that. You don't have the time you can spend with your people to make them great. Mm-hmm. If you really want to get a few good people in your circle that are local to whatever you want to do, or even farther away, you need to touch them. You need to get out. That's one thing Greg does for me. He called me when I was in Vegas. He's like, I haven't heard you for a while, man. I'm like, oh, I'm just partying in Vegas. He's like, I just want to reach out. I just want to touch you. I feel like I'm talking to you in a while. I'm like, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Because that's a big deal, man. People don't realize that. Yeah. You got people you talk to, you get them fired up one time, they jump on board, they're ready to go through a wall. And motivation is like taking a shower. You got to do it every single day because people get you fired up. And then like 2 days later, you're like, I'm still kind of pumped. A week later, you're like, that was cool. And then a month later, you're like, what did he say again? I forgot. And so you know what I'm saying? Like, that's this true story. So having that time, like what Dave is doing with his organization for sure, like having that, utilizing, knowing how important his time is to prioritize that, to grow some people that can duplicate that process. That's how you create momentum. That's how you create success.
No. There's two ways. No, go ahead.
Let's expand on that a little bit. So how many of us have actually been in the field since we transitioned? I know I fucking haven't.
Oh, and here's the myth breaker. It's not that I'm not in the field or none of us are in the field because the FBI is after us or like we got our contracts terminated or
so
like my mom's not the Loch Ness monster and my dad's not Bigfoot. Okay. So the truth of the matter is that I do have contracts. I do have contracts. I have contracts with multiple carriers. Okay. I just haven't had time to run business in the field because I've been spending it all day, every day, talking to agents and trying to help them to the transition over, to try to like put out fires, to make sure lead orders are done correctly, make insurance pay is up, and people are getting into that and like spending a lot of time just literally from the time that I wake up until the time that I go to sleep, and then doing these podcasts and like trying to get the message out. And so it's been awesome, actually. I love it. But will I get back to the field? Yeah, eventually when I have the time. But right now, I don't care about. I have not been making any money.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not a hit on us that we haven't. We've been investing our resources, our time, our money. We're sacrificing the money that we can gain, and we're investing it into the massive amount of people that have come over. Because initially, when we all talked about this, we thought 60 people were going to be coming over.
Yeah,
it's a fucking tsunami,
right?
And each of them, like Greg said, deserves the same treatment and mentorship across the board, right? And that takes dedication and that takes time. And it's a sacrifice that I'd make anytime, any day of the week.
Yeah. There's only,
by the way,
go ahead.
My leads are in. I want people to know this. My leads are in. People keep asking me, have you tried the leads? Have you ran? I'm like, I've been trying. I've had no time. But here, like Monday, I want everyone to know this. Monday's the day. Okay. My leads are in. They're ready to go. My contracts are in. New policies launch. I'm going to write business next week. A lot of
Let's
it.
Go.
A lot of it.
Let's go.
Transparency, man. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to tell them the truth.
Full kimono. Go full kimono out in the field all day long.
Come on
bro.
I'll be running. So when people reach out to me next week, if I can't get back to you right away, it's because I am going to be running, and I'm only going to run a few days, like, because that's all I needed with all these leads. I can't run a million days a week because I got the A leads. I think I got 6 out of my 15 I ordered already that came in like one day, and they're still trickling in right now.
Yeah.
All my B leads are in. I'm going to run the shit out of them.
There's gonna be a ton of leads that come on Monday, across the board. So because it's now hitting to that point where, like, this is when they start to come in, because there's so many A leads were ordered. It's gonna be bananas next week in terms of all the leads that the first order, the first, like, I think they dropped like $250,000 worth the very first order when we first came over. So it's gonna be stupid. There's only 3 ways to make money in this business, or to make more money. All right. If you want to make a lot of money, be super profitable. Okay. It's either A, write more business, B, write bigger deals, or C, duplicate yourself. And that's it. Those are the only 3 ways. And that's always been that way. It will always be that way. So how do you write more business, write bigger deals, or duplicate yourself? Well, it's easy when you duplicate yourself, and duplicate yourself is by far the best way to do it. It is the most efficient. It is by far. You cannot duplicate yourself by just recruiting people and ignoring them and just throwing them into a system and letting them go. And you also can't try to fix it by sending them a crap email that's like a survey to see how they feel. That doesn't work very well either. That's not leadership. Okay. Leadership's a little bit harder than that.
It's like
jumping in at the last second.
Yeah.
It's like putting a lipstick on a pig, right?
Or on a rat. So,
oh my gosh.
So you can write more business by being more efficient with your time. Okay. And having higher quality leads that will get you those appointments so that you can do that. Okay. When I did my 190,000, I had A lead mortgage leads that I purchased third party that were highly intentional. And then I learned how to do Facebook marketing. And I did my own Facebook funnel where people they started at an ad, and I tailor marketed my ad to a specific niche of people I could speak to. And then it took them to a video of me talking about what I did and how I did it. It was a 7-minute long video. And then at the end of it, if they listened all the way to the end of it, it prompted them to go into my calendar and schedule time and then fill out a form with all of their information. And part of that information was like, well, one of the questions I asked was, why should I work with you? And they would put it in and they'd be like, because I really need help. Or some people would be like, I don't understand the question. This sounds kind of pompous. But when people fill that out, guess what? And then they'd schedule time for me to call them on the phone. And then when I had a call on the phone, they already recognized my voice. They already heard me. And they were just like, they were ready to go. It was like I was attracting clients rather than chasing a lead.
Yeah.
So I had a highly intentional leads that I created myself. Now, some people would say that is selfish. I think those people are stupid.
Very stupid.
But it made it to where I could not have done that much. I could not have done that much business without having that funnel and without having A leads, period. I couldn't have. So more business. I could write bigger deals. How do you write bigger deals? Well, there's a couple of different ways. A, you just get more skilled. Okay. You start to get more assumptive in the home. You become better at providing a service. Like, hey, like whenever you do a deal, you can have all the policies be delivered to you, and then you can go and deliver them back out to the clients to show, hey, I'm showing that I'm service oriented. And then when you're there, you can write another policy, bigger deals. Okay. And these are also stickier deals because these are the people that are going to stay on the books because they trust you. Okay. Duplicate yourself. You got to recruit people and you got to mentor them. You have to train them properly. You have to spend time with them. You're going to have to sacrifice. If you just recruit a bunch of people, it's not going to work. If you just throw them into a video and then throw them into contracting and then throw them into a video series that is age old and just a bunch of YouTube videos, snap together like Frankenstein together, that tells them they're not paying attention. They're sitting there cooking their spaghetti while that's playing in the background. I promise you. That's why they're coming back and asking questions. And you're like, oh, did you do it? No, they didn't. I promise you, because they didn't have the time or attention or care put into them to teach them what was most important.
Almost like throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, huh?
Yeah. And then you wonder why you
throw a bunch of cheese at the wall.
Yeah, throw a bunch of cheese at the wall, and see what rats come out. So
oh my God.
This is such an inside joke with our
it's fantastic.
It is a really good inside joke that we have. But anyway,
pure entertainment.
For anyone
Greg, can I touch on those two
absolutely,
points?
Absolutely.
So like you said, one was right more business. Second was bigger cases. So if you kind of have like the mentality or the kind of like that mission of, I'm doing this business to help as many families as I can. I want to leave the world a better place than when not to get too deep, but I mean, like, there's only so much that you can do as one personal producer. I suppose you can write bigger cases. You can help more clients to a certain point. You can't be 100 different places at one time. But if you have a team of 100, each of your teammates can be somewhere helping a family. So that's kind of like my mentality of like why I don't just focus on personal production. It's like, to me, I'm doing a disservice to all those other people that will never have a chance to sit down with an advisor or get coverage and protect their family. But maybe they could have had I spent a little bit more time developing and transferring those skills that I have to others. So that's kind of why I think that the people that can do number 3, they're going to be 100 times more profitable than the 1 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can do it properly, if you can do it properly, you can bring on
iron sharpens iron, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yep.
This has been a fucking great talk, gentlemen. I like it. I'm excited.
We touched a lot of really cool points, man. I learned a lot just from you guys.
And you know what? And now let's bring it full circle, which you, the listener, don't know about. But the original topic was how ADV1 is a one-stop shop. It can really service just about whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for leadership, you're looking for leads, you're looking for quality. If you're looking for the ability to go on a trip and work from anywhere, if you're looking for the ability to enjoy your life and not get harassed, hey,
amen to that one.
We're here for you.
Yeah,
we're here for you.
Wait, Greg, did you mean a travel trip you have to pay for to go and write business?
Yeah, exactly. or like lose business because you bought crap leads and you just lost money.
Yep.
Yeah, I truly believe, and I'm just the last thing I want to say before, I don't want you guys, whatever you got to do with this, but I just want to say, like, this is, we've had a lot of cool conversations with a lot of different people. We've all onboarded, heard a lot of different stories. And like Greg said, the one-stop shop thing is a really big deal, because I've talked to people that were single moms that can only work so many hours in a day, or can't go anywhere, or can't go work a physical job because they're taking care of 2 or 3 kids. Mm-hmm. I've talked to people that were just barely making it by on ends meet. Like, this is an opportunity that can truly put you in a position where you can be a 6-figure income earner by, like, anyone can do that. I truly believe you come to Evangel Brokers, you can be a 6-figure income earner. It could be somewhere, you have any challenge you want. You could be a single mom with 3 kids, can't physically go to work, so you can do it virtually from home. Mm-hmm. You can be someone who is like, hey man, I have all the time in the world. I got the work ethic. I just don't have the skill. No problem. We can make sure that you can become successful. Anyone can be successful with this, especially the training, the resources, now the policies that we offer that you can't even almost compare anything to, and the compensation. With those things, you have all the chance to be successful.
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback, man, we're just going back and forth all day long. The conversation I had with Nick Schrock last week, he came in, he hasn't been doing this business very long. It's only been telesales for a couple of months here. But his first month here, he deposited 48,000 and he spent 3,000 on leads.
It's freaking legit.
That's stupid.
That is what's up. That
is stupid. That is profitability right there. That's the definition of it. And so, he's just genuine on the phone. His previous company, he was used to working a ton just to get to that. And he was like, man, I was like, I came in this place and I was making so much that I was like taking off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I was feeling bad. Like, man, I'm taking off too much time. And I was feeling like I was being lazy, but he still made like a lot of money working like 4 days a week, because he's a husband, he's a father. He wanted to spend time with his family. They just moved to Florida. And so I'm just like, man, that's legit. That's the American dream right there, man.
Good for that guy, man.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's
Like,
freaking awesome.
It is so awesome. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming on and doing a conversation with me. If you, the listeners, liked hearing us bullshit for now an hour, probably, and just talking with you guys about one topic, then let us know, and we'll do this once a week. We'll get the boys back together, and we'll have a topic.
Yeah, we'll even let you choose the topic next time.
Yeah, we'll just pick a topic.
Yeah, let's do that.
Go to town. So if there's a topic that you guys want to hear about that you want us to talk about, then we'll go ahead and we'll hit it up. We have one player missing. We have Zach. Maybe we can sub in Zach for one of y'all every once in a while. But thank you guys for coming on board. David, if anyone wants to work with you and come on board with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So you can call or text me anytime, 760-505-2641.
And what area are you in?
I'm in all of Southern California, over here, West Coast.
Okay, awesome. And then Jeffy Grub, how can they get a hold of you?
That's you can call me my
Grub.
You could. Dude, I should get a pager. You guys can page me. I'm just kidding. No. You can call my cell phone. You can call my cell phone. It's never going to change. Area code 208-699-6648.
Very nice.
And I'm in Indiana. I'm in the Midwest on East Coast time. So don't forget that part. EST.
And Kevin, if anyone wanted to work alongside of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Best way is going to be my cell phone. Area code 720-416-2907. And my Instagram handle is kvega86. I'm constantly posting some funny stuff.
He's the
meme lord.
He is Kevin, the meme lord Vega. So he does have some pretty good ones. And what area are you running in when you run a business in?
Texas right now.
Boom. Very nice. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you share it. That's the fee. If you like the content that you're getting, if you're getting something from it, if we're able to touch you and get a message out to you and it makes sense to you, then please just share it with somebody that hopefully helps them. Okay. And join the notifications so that you know that we're going to be, whenever we drop content, it's going to come each and every weekday. And